So I remember the first time I was going to stick a dialysis fistula. I had been very excited in anticipation for the event, but the moment I grabbed the needle and I was about to cannulate the patient, my hand started shaking and I couldn't control it. And it was so embarrassing because I couldn't really control the movement. And the reason I was shaking so much, it was because I started thinking, am I going to hurt the patient? Did I really learn the right technique to do this properly? And so in this video, I want to go through the steps that will assure you that you are cannulating a fistula properly. Maybe it's the first time that you're going to cannulate that fistula, or maybe you've been doing it for a while. But not because you've been doing it for a while means that you are doing the proper technique. After learning and following these steps, you are on your way to become an expert fistula cannulator. You will be able to preserve your patient's fistula, do clean cannulations, and also you will be able to teach others the proper way. We're going to do the look, listen, and feel. So the look, we're looking for signs and symptoms of infection. We are listening with our stethoscope. We listen to the bruit, and then we do the, we feel, and we're feeling for the thrill, which is that vibration that you can feel inside of the fistula. So let's pretend I already did all that. And also, you can do the 10-second assessment. I have a video that covers the 10-second assessment. I will put it right here so that you can complete that. But let's pretend we did all that already. I have all of my supplies here. They're ready to go. And we're going to focus on the technique. So before I put any needle in, I want to make sure that I know where my needles will go. So I am going to first identify the anastomosis, which is the connection between the artery and the vein. And I am going to decide where I'm going to place my first needle, the arterial needle. If I have room, I should be about 2 inches away from the anastomosis for that first needle, which is the arterial needle. And in this technique, I am practicing the rope ladder technique. So I am going to decide to place my first arterial needle somewhere around here. And then the other needle, the venous one, will be somewhere around here. And I also want to leave about 2 inches apart from needle to needle. To be able to have a very good and clean entry on fistulas, we should use a tourniquet. Even though the fistula is big and you can see it, you should always use a tourniquet because it'll help you stabilize that fistula. It'll give it a little bit of resistance so that when you go into the needle, it's clean. So the first thing that we're going to do, we're going to clean first, and then I will apply the tourniquet. So this is ChloraPrep. And I am going to make sure that I'm cleaning, moving my swab vigorously in the area where I chose that I was going to place the needle. I am going to use one swab for each site. By the way, if you're studying for your dialysis certification exam, I put together a free quick start guide that shows you what topics deserve the most attention. You can grab it through the link below. And the second one is going to be up here. And I want to make sure that I am, again, moving vigorously so that I'm able to clean the exit the site well. And now I'm going to let the area dry, and in the meantime I can go ahead and start applying my tourniquet. Always make sure that you're asking your patient if this is too tight. You should be able to place 2 fingers in here without any problems. So it shouldn't be too loose and it shouldn't be too tight. So now I'm ready to place my first needle, my fistula needle, and I'm going to start with the arterial needle. This is a 15 gauge needle. And to open it, I'm going to twist and pull, making sure that I'm not scraping the needle. And so I want to hold the bevel up. Make sure that your clamp is closed and your cap is tight. And I am going to use the C technique for this needle. So the C technique goes, I'm going to use my index and my thumb. I'm going to press down, but at the same time, I'm going to stretch the skin so that I can hold that skin tight, so that when I go in with my needle, it's a clean entry. I'm going to use a 25 to a 30-degree angle to go in. And I am going to wait for my flashback, wait until I see my flashback before I lower the angle and advance. Once I have my flashback, I am going to go ahead and advance. I do not want to push the needle all the way in. I am going to leave about 1 or 2 centimeters of the needle outside, and I still am going to look for my flashback. At this point, I need to secure my needle. So if you're going to secure it with tape at this point, go ahead and place that tape below the exit site, not on top of the exit site. If you are going to cover the exit site, you need a 2x2. You're going to fold that 2x2 in half, and then go ahead and place the tape on top of your 2x2, which is a sterile 2x2, and then hold that needle down. But at this point, I know that my needle is good because I still have that flashback, so I'm going to go ahead and secure it with a second tape. And this will be the butterfly technique. So the sticky part down, make sure that you have the sticky part down so that you can slide that tape. And then you are going to leave the tape creating a V. You will not cross this tape. Just create a V or butterfly wings. Then we still make sure that we have that flashback, and then we're going to go ahead and grab a third piece of tape, and we're going to secure the butterfly wings. At this point, I will go ahead and prime and flush my first needle. Prime. And now I am going to flush. And the way that I flush is that I attach that syringe. I open my clamp, the needle clamp. I pull back a little bit, just a tiny bit, to make the air go up. And then holding the syringe as I'm holding it upside down like this, I am going to push the plunger slowly. At this time, I want to check for any resistance, any pressure. I'm not feeling anything. And then I am just going to stop at 1. And the reason I stop at 1 is because if there's any air bubbles, I will catch them there and I will not push them through. And I am done with my first needle. So let's go ahead and move on to the second needle. So now I'm going to go ahead and place the second needle, the venous needle. I want to make sure that my cap is tight and my clamp is closed. Again, I am going to twist and pull, making sure that I don't scrape that needle because it has a wax that is going to help me place this needle in cleanly without hurting the patient too much. Now again, I'm going to use my C technique, making the skin tight and holding down the fistula. I'm going to go in at a 25 to 30-degree angle. I'm going to place my needle, just the tip. I do not lower it yet. I wait for my flashback. Once I see my flashback, then I lower my angle and advance, making sure that I am advancing in the direction of that fistula. I do not push the needle all the way in. And at this moment, I am going to go ahead and secure this needle. And I know I can't secure it because I still see my flashback. I like to secure it placing a 2x2 gauze, fold it in half, and then placing a tape on top of it. If I still have my flashback that I don't have to fix the needle or anything, I'm going to go ahead and bring my other 2 pieces of tape. But also, I am going to remove this tourniquet. And so I do it slowly. And I can just leave it there and also make sure that I still have my flashback. I am going to repeat the butterfly technique, sticky part down. I'm going to create a V without crossing my tape. And then I'm going to grab a second tape that's going to secure the butterfly. At this point, I am going to prime my second needle by opening the clamp, making the air go out. Close the clamp, and now I'm going to flush with saline. I attach my saline syringe, pull back, and then push in, making sure that I'm feeling for any pressure or resistance. I don't feel any, and then I'm going to stop at 1. And once you have this, your patient is ready for his heparin and to start treatment. Using the proper technique to cannulate a dialysis vascular access can preserve your patient's fistula, helping them live life as fully and as long as they can. And now that you know how to properly cannulate a dialysis fistula, go ahead and click here because the next video you should watch is how to properly cannulate a dialysis graft. Go ahead and I'll see you in that next video.